the translation has already started, and now I'd like to understand if you can hear and see as well. If anyone has difficulties with what you see on the screen or what you hear, could you please send a message to the chat? If no one complains, it means that you hear as well. So now we start this webinar. It's the second one. At the stage of the competition, and now we cover all the information so that you could apply for the competition. In the beginning, we'll show you the presentation that will cover main issues. And if you have any additional questions, you could ask them in the chat. You could do that during the webinar, and after the presentation, we'll clarify all the issues and answer your questions. So here you can see the presentation on your screens. Let me remind you that we're talking about the open international competition for the development of concept and master plan for the eco-district and city of Kazan, Republic Tatarstan. It's the Turinscape district. You see its location on the screen. It's a large area. The land plot area is 759 hectares. The location is unique. It is just 20 minutes from the downtown of the city by car and 300 meters to the bank of the Volga River. At the same time, the territory is forested and not polluted. It allows to have the lifestyle that is impossible in other parts of the city. For us to get ready to this competition and give you the complete terms of reference, we have carried out the comprehensive analytical research. We carried out the urban planning analysis and analysis of the location. We examined the residential market. We also carried out sociological survey, expert interviews, and analysis of the relevant global experience. For your convenience, this research in English and in Russian is published on the website. It is researchkazan.ru. So you can analyze the territory as fast as possible, check its parameters and characteristics and features, and understand where the idea of the creation of the eco-district comes from, and why we suggest the intermixed housing construction so that you could have the full understanding, the initiator and the facilitator of the competition, the Regional Support Fund. His representative is present here, so he can answer your questions directly. Now we'd like to tell you more about the territory and its features. For that, I'd like to give the floor to our colleagues from the RSF. Good afternoon. I'm the president of the fund. I'm also an assistant to the President of the Republic of Tatarstan. As far as the territory is concerned, I'd like to say that a few years ago I've been the head of the Kirovsky district. It's one of the 7 regions of Kazan city. In the center of this area, the Kirovsky area, the territory is located. Several moments you have to take into account. They have something to do with the historical path of this area. Kirovsky area was an industrial area. But now, from the beginning of 1980s, the majority of territories that were located in Kirovsky district were closed, and the district was renovated. All the more residential districts appear in this area. This territory was a part of this process. For 200 years, this territory was used as a place where of warehouses and storages for the gunpowder plant and artillery base. Almost 10 years ago, the decision was made to remove such hazardous objects from the territory of the city. And from 2012, this territory was completely freed from them and transferred to the Republic and then to the fund to implement the development project in this territory as a part of the residential area of Kazan city. The gunpowder plant located nearby is to be closed soon, and it will be relocated. So the history dictates the features and peculiar features of the territory. First of all, you shouldn't be afraid of the word former artillery base. If you check the footage from the satellite, you see empty spaces. These are small areas located not far from each other, where wooden warehouses were located. They were not higher than 8 or 9 meters. They were surrounded by artificial fences. What was it made for? To prevent burst wave from spreading. I elaborate on this issue because there is no ecological damage from the storage of artillery ammunition in this territory. The ammunition only contained gunpowder. The territory was protected very well for 200 years. So the quality of soil is high, it is not contaminated, it is completely clean. I guess it's the cleanest territory because man-made influence on it was at the lowest level. Talking about green areas, they are not relic trees. Mainly, they are pines not older than 20-30 years old. That's why this forest is new, relatively new, because of the location of the artillery base. That's the feature of the landscape. It is at the height of 30 meters over Volga level. And from this territory, you can easily see the river. Another point. Is the location of the territory. The entire territory is adjacent to the woodland Lebezhye, green area Lebezhye. These are so-called green lungs of Kazan, the forest of Kazan, that allows to meet the requirements on greening up the cities. The territory is adjacent to the biggest park of Kazan city. At the same time, the territory is located close to the central part of the city, the historical part. It is important to say that Kazan has two historical centers. The first one is Kremlin, and the second one is Kirovsky district. It has a temple that dates back to 500 years ago. There we have the so-called Admiralteyskaya Sloboda, where historically religious activities were carried out. The territory has a well-developed transportation system. It is located close to the central part of the city. Another thing I'd like to underline, I personally used to administrate this area. We asked our colleagues to prepare an analytical research. And the requirements that were intertwined in the competition documentation is that low-rise construction is very important. Low-rise buildings won't damage the green area that we have in the territory. This will help to decrease the density of the population in the area. If the construction of other types of buildings will be made, it won't only affect the green area, but the urban load will be completely different. Low-rise buildings will allow to sell this, to commercialize this area in an easier way. I guess this issue is fully covered in the research. This project is unique for the Republic of Tatarstan. When the project of the territory was prepared, we realized that it's the biggest territory that we work on, and it's very important for the development of the city. Thank you so much. We'll be glad to see you as the participants of the competition, and we hope you will bring your vision to our culture. Good afternoon. We carried out the competitive analysis for positioning this territory right. For Kazan, the main competitive advantages are the great variety of residential housing and the attention to the quality and comfort of the living area. During the analysis, the database was prepared. It includes 71 projects of residential real estate projects. These projects are divided into 4 levels, 4 comfort levels: economy, comfort, business, and luxury. For Kirovsky district, where the territory is located, there is almost no luxury projects. Main competitors are located in the eastern part from the territory. The peculiar features of the market are the following: high demand for land plots of small and medium size, The demand for real estate in Kazan is characterized by stability and sustainable demand for the individual construction items. So for the territory, the individual residential construction is of high priority. We had in mind those customers who choose the individual residential construction and middle stories houses. The customers are from 31 to 60 years old. The average monthly income is 40 to 55,000 rubles. As a rule, these are families with children or those who are planning to have children, and the preferred area is from 75 to 130 meters for the individual residential construction and 50 to 75 meters for the apartments in middle stories houses. We analyzed the global experience of the development of the eco-oriented lifestyle, and the main idea that we choose was to develop the land plot as an eco-district. The analysis of the global trends in similar climatic conditions revealed 3 eco-types of the regions. It's self-reliant power sources and energy efficient decisions. That's the propaganda of healthy lifestyle and preserving natural environment. Therefore, the territory under examination, the ideas should include the comprehensive development, the preservation of green carcass, the choice of the optimal planning structure, taking into account the stages of the territory development, and the main idea of creating a new lifestyle unique for Kazan. Talking about the participants, both Russian and foreign companies are eligible to participate. At the same time, we call all the participants to form consortiums, since only Russian foreign consortium, where both Russian partner and foreign company are present, are able to deliver the project on a high level, since the project provides for the deep knowledge of Russian legislation. The website of the competition is in English and Russian, and all the materials are present both in English and in Russian. You can also apply in both languages. All the information is present on the website for registered users. Only then you will be able to get the access to the full information. The competition is supported by Government of the Republic of Tatarstan. Let me remind you that the initiator of the competition is the Republican Support Fund. The organizer is the Agency for Strategic Development Center. The information about the participants is publicly available in both languages. The competition is open, transparent, international, and comprises of 2 stages. At the first stage, you apply information about the company and provide the relevant portfolio and essay. At the second stage of the competition, those who will become finalists according to the decision of the jury will design the concept and master plan. So there are 2 stages and 2 jury meetings. After the second stage, the jury at the in-house meeting will choose the finalist. But all the works are ranked, and there is the first, the second, and the third places. The prize pool comprises 12 million rubles that are divided in the following way. On the second stage of the competition, 3 finalists sign a contract and receive 2 million rubles. The next remuneration happens on the if the finalist becomes the winner, takes the second place or the third place. You can see the remuneration rank on the screen. So the timeline now. The competition was announced on the 5th of July. And we received applications by 12 o'clock on the 14th of August. After then, the registration will be closed, and we assess all the applications and prepare for the jury meeting. On the 22nd of August, the jury meeting will take place, and we will choose 3 finalists. They will continue working on the second stage. These finalists will receive the detailed terms of reference and background information. They will also have additional seminars and consultations during the entire period of work. So the second jury meeting will take place on the 6th of November, and the next day, on the 7th of November, the result will be announced. The jury of the competition comprises different categories of experts. The unique thing is the president of the jury is the president of the Republic of Tatarstan. The jury also comprises the mayor of Kazan, representative of government authorities, including architectural and housing department, key experts that are involved in preparing the terms of reference, and the international member of the jury is Stanley Long, So the first stage. At the first stage, we are waiting that your company or your consortium will provide a portfolio. The portfolio should include 5 relevant projects. It's at your discretion to decide how the projects should be allocated between the members of your consortium. First of all, of top priority are the projects that have already been implemented. You can also show the projects that are on the stage of implementation or has been prepared for any competitions, and that you deem the best for the goals of our competition. You also should enclose an essay to the portfolio. An essay may comprise of 2 parts. The first part is the textual part, where you describe the issues related to the territory, your approach to the implementation of the goals of the competition of the territory, your understanding of using energy efficiency technologies and eco-efficiency technologies, and the way you see the work on this project in future. The main thing that we need to understand from an essay is your approach, your evaluation, and your understanding of goals and tasks of the competition, and understanding how you will work further. The second part of the essay it can be submitted or not. It's for you to decide. It's a visual part. It's blueprints or framings that show your idea in visual. Here you can choose if you'd like to provide a visual part or not. But the priority is given to the essays who have the visual component, so that we could understand your idea, your design code as a consortium or a company. And as well, we ask you to provide a company profile. If we're talking about a consortium, then the profile of every member of consortium, so that we could understand who are the members of the consortium, when the companies have been founded, what's their professional way, do they have any rewards or experience, what's important for us, what you are proud of in rewards, winnings, participations, anything that you'd like to provide except for legal information. All the competition is carried out online. So on our official website, contestants.ru, you can register, you can log in, you get all the information and apply on this website. At the second stage of the competition, we expect that you will divide your job in your work in 3 segments. It's the architectural and city planning concept of this eco-district's development. It's a master plan of first stage. And we expect from you that you will provide us with a framework model detailing the financial and economic parameters. We expect the successful concept provides for programming first, then economic modeling, and then architectural and city planning concept that will create a realistic project. And we could work on the later stages on it with the winner. Let me underline that it is not a creative competition, it's a real competition, real-oriented competition. So that you could prepare all the necessary information and it will be convenient. Your resources are the two websites, researchkazan.ru with all the backgrounds regarding the territory, contestskazan.ru that provides for all the infrastructure for the competition. And at any moment of time, you could check and have consultations with the organizational committee, with the Agency of Strategic Development Center. We have a toll-free number. You can call us. And you can email us. The email is presented on the website. We are willing to provide you support, both in English and in Russian if you'd like. That's the main information that we wanted to deliver in the presentation, and now we are ready to answer to the key questions. For that, we'll read your messages in the chat. You can write your comments, questions in the chat. So write your questions and comments in the chat. But first of all, I'd like to say about the context of this competition, which is very important. The Republic of Tatarstan is actively using the competition practice for developing the best urban planning and architectural decisions. These competitions are open, transparent, and international. This practice started with one of the largest competitions in Russia. This competition was declared for the system of lakes Kaban, the embankment and the development of this area. Many people could hear that this competition became one of the most important projects for working with water in the city. And now this competition became practical. The first stage of the competition and the first stage of the development of the Lake Kaban was implemented. Our jury includes the men who was in charge of this project. It was the company Turinscape that won in this competition, and after that worked on the implementation of the project together with the authorities of Tatarstan. We deem it very important to show you people who have already won the competition and implemented the project. That's why I'd like to give the floor to the representative of the Turinscape company, who also is the member of the jury. Now I give the floor.
So, hello everyone. My name is Stanley Long. I'm the director of Turinscape, and it is an honor for us to participate as a jury for this eco district in Kazan. And we are very thrilled to after our success in Kaban Lake, which is starting from a master planning project and then become a real project, which the first phase of the Kaban Lake has already implemented. After the master planning competition and landscape competition, this project, the first phase, is a 30 hectare site and embankment lake design, and now it's already built. So in the opening, from what it's a surprising result, which on the first 4 days there's already close to 200,000 people visiting the site. So it's a very successful project from concept, competition concept, design, development and construction, up to realization and up to current uses as well. So we are excited to work with the Republic of Tatarstan once again for bigger projects and more realized project that will take place in the near future. Thank you very much.
Now we get to the questions that are in the chat. Could anyone read them? The decision has been made that the gunpowder plant will be relocated, but the deadline is not clear yet. The plant is located in the sanitary zone When the plant will be relocated, the territory will become very attractive. The gunpowder capacity for today is not so high. It produces much less than 20 years ago. So the gunpowder capacity is low and is to be relocated soon. Its sanitary protected area does not influence on the territory. It does not correlate with the territory. and the territory is located at a this territory is far enough from the territory of the plant. Залесение расположено вокруг тех мест, где располагались склады. Я так понимаю, что нам нужно сохранить лес и зелень. As far as the forest greenery and trees question is concerned, it will be good to integrate free spaces The satellite footage shows the forest on the territory, but this territory is not fully covered by the forest. The security requirements demanded that the old forest will be destroyed and the new forest planted. So it is not necessarily to fit in the existing free spaces. This territory does have free spaces, but the planning decision should not be built on them only. The territory is not officially a forest or a national garden, national park or recreational area. It has good, very good environmental characteristics. You can change the plan of the territory, so deforestation is possible, but it should have all the grounds behind it. And you should benefit and make it most advantageous from the green area of this territory. This is a commercial project. It is not a social project. It is important. So balance should exist. But first of all, this project should be commercial and beneficial and profitable, and all the principles behind this project are dictated by the market laws. It should not be the constantly donated territory. It should be a sustainable territory that can exist as any other city area in the modern city. Существуют ли какие-то гранты или займы для частных инвесторов для финансирования энергоэффективных решений? As far as grants and loans are concerned, no. So, no loans or grants or subsidies are not planned for energy efficient solutions in Russia in general. But when we implement the project, In Russia and in the Republic of Tatarstan, we have a centralized system, utility system in the city. All utility systems are centralized, which is important. If you use energy efficient solutions, then to the city, from the management point of view, it is an opportunity to save resources and save money. Would like you to look into the future and to choose an opportunities for further exploitation of this territory. As a person who lives in a private house, before the energy efficient solutions were introduced in it, I paid $150 a month in winter for gas. After the energy efficient solutions were introduced in my house, it became $30, $40 a month for gas in winter. Что вы имеете в виду под визуальной частью? Должна быть таблица, набросок. Speaking about an essay, we think that it comprises of two parts. The first part is textual. It is a text. That's the description of your vision of the future of the territory and your approach on working on the project and the space you'd like to use. As far as the visual part is concerned, no, we are not talking about diagrams. It is more like a sketch, a drawing that shows your vision of the design code, the image that you will build on while preparing it for the project. We don't think that you will prepare some expensive visual components. At the first stage, we're talking about a sketch that shows your idea, the perception of the space. As far as environment noise is concerned, the industry does not cause any noise. Transportation network is far from the territory, and the territory is a bit higher than the highways. We think that it is a unique feature of the territory that the level of noise in it is low. In this competition, we constantly say that it allows to make a project of the out-of-city lifestyle within the city limits. The close location of the territory to the city and to the megapolis is also good. As far as air pollution is concerned, the gunpowder has no influence on environment, and there are no more any manufacturers who could influence the environment. All air indicators comply with the Russian standards, and even better. All the materials for the competition should be provided in both working languages, Russian and English. It's an international project, so it has two working languages, and all the materials should be in two working languages. As far as public transport is concerned, most citizens of Kazan use public transportation. And the general plan provides for the development of public transportation for this territory in particular. As far as natural space and landscape is concerned, and its preservation is concerned, we cannot explain it. It's the part of the competition. The ability to choose and to find the right solution is for the team to decide. And let me stress that it's a commercial project, not a social one. So the preservation of natural space and landscape is very important, but at the same time, it should be considered as the component that improves the marketing attractivity. On this territory, there is an area that should not be constructed. Here it is. That's an area that should not have buildings on it. And the initial information on the competition includes the zoning of the territory that shows the most preferable for the construction areas, and those areas that are most preferable for social functions. If you register on the website and download the task and the background in your account, you will see all the necessary information. In case of consortium, the company profile should be prepared by each member. The priority is given to the relevant and completed projects. But at the same time, you can provide not completed projects that are of the highest relevance. The number of pages of the portfolio you have to provide 5 portfolios with not more than 3 images for each project or portfolio. The heat distribution system in the territory is absent. We think that individual boilers are the most reasonable decision. That will provide heat and hot water. In theory, we could build a centralized boiler, but we don't deem it rational. Let me say it once again that the framework model detailing the financial and economic parameters are to be provided on the second stage of the competition. It should provide grounds for the decisions made by the finalist. But at the first stage, it is impossible. Everything that we wanted to see on the first stage is the confirmation that a company or a consortium applying have the competence to do that. The winner will be invited for the execution of the project. The Russian legislation says that the winner of the competition has an authorship control. The project is to be implemented by the winner. The conditions and the scale of participation is to be decided on the ground of the project itself and is to be decided during the negotiations between the customer and the winner after the winner has been chosen. As far as the information about all participants of the consortium is concerned, you should log in again, and there are spaces where you can add all the necessary information. It has been added to the website. As far as standards are concerned, international standards, we base on the standards of the Russian Federation. Any other international standards and frameworks are to be chosen at the discretion of the competitor, of the participant. And if you suggest such a system for this territory, that will be an advantage. You, Russian partner, you cannot participate in the competition without Russian partner, because the Russian competitions show that in 90% of cases, foreign bureaus that do not have an office or a partner in Russia cannot meet the requirements, the architectural and planning requirements in the territory of the Russian Federation. We need a real project and a real partner. This competition is international, since we are looking for the best international partners. But we think that the infrastructure for this partnership should be built on the level of competition. It is almost impossible to implement a project without a Russian partner. We are willing to provide you any assistance and provide assistance to any companies that are concerned and interested and who require a Russian partner and so-called adapter to provide their ideas and to use the Russian infrastructure for the participation. First of all, the main idea of Russian competitions is the collaboration. We are interested in developing international cooperation. It is one of the key principles of the competition. As far as trees are concerned, mostly there are pines. Most territory is covered with pines of 20 to 30 years old. There are also territories with pines of 10 years old. At the perimeter, the part that is adjacent to the woodland area, we have relic trees, relic pines. It is at the perimeter. All the necessary information is presented in the research that is published in Russia and in Russian and in English. You need to submit the company profile also in Russian. All the documents should be provided in both languages.